So mid-hook is pretty good, but we should really get something at the end step. It's probably Emperor. Oh, you know what? Actually, this is better. We also keep the card draw, and we have this wedding announcement, so I don't think we need more. Now he needs to attack through Dennick, token, this and this. And that's why make this appear. It's a cool counters. Oh, I'm not even sorry. Like Hello everyone, it's Sloth and today we are back to Azorius, but this one, Azorius, is an absolute treat to showcase to you guys. It really benefits from AO, the down sky, to the maximum. It has so much raw power that it's funny that, you know, this is usually the control archetype, and it actually smorks our opponent. We are at mind-blowing 83% win rate. We won 5 games, we lost only 1. And it gets better because the only one we lost was against Mono Blue, which basically has favorable matchups against everything that isn't aggro, so you probably won't win a lot of those anyway. And the rest is all wins, and also against Mono Black that we absolutely smashed them. So I'm a bit mind blown about the stats. I knew the deck is strong, but I didn't know it's so strong. So those are the stats. Enjoy if you want to see. And like we were playing in Platinum, so it seems that you can plow through Platinum with this deck probably in like 2 or 3 hours. So yeah, if you want to get to Diamond as soon as possible, maybe that's a good choice if you aren't a mono blue player. So yeah, let's go into the deck list and see what's up. Alright, and we are in the deck list, and man, this deck is absolute blast, both to play and to showcase and to even talk about, because like it has so many synergies, but to be frank, like probably the biggest card in this deck is Adeline. I'm always making fun that, you know, all the control decks are playing it as a one creature that creates whole board state basically, but that's true. This creature is absolutely dominant, and even though we are more of a control deck, we are not grindy control, but we are definitely, you know, trying to control the game and kill opponent while removing his biggest threats and counterplaying a bit. With like this deck, you can actually kill your opponent nearly as quickly as with mono white aggro. Like if you cast Dennick into Adeline, into like Wedding Announcement or Wandering Emperor, like you're basically playing an aggro deck that just kills your opponent. And if you don't kill him, you actually don't mind, because then you start playing the game. So very interesting deck in this regard. It basically combines a lot of things between like aggressive decks, but still not really losing value. Even like Spirited Companion, and this deck it really shines. It's a 2-drop that on its own doesn't seem to be doing a lot, right? But if you combine it with Adeline, suddenly this is absolute best 2-drop that you can have, because it can attack, create a token, and if your opponent doesn't have a good answer, he's already like 3 creatures behind, which is not only good for the damage. If you are playing against mono black, how the hell are they supposed to like use Liliana -2? Like they will never hit anything relevant for the rest of the game. Same goes for the Invoke Despair. And the fact that we have some Planewalkers, Wedding Announcement, this really also makes it much harder to cast Invoke Despair, and you will see it in the games. I'm usually ranting about Invoke Despair for the full video duration basically. With this one I didn't. I think this is the main reason that we have some good counterplay to it, so even when they cast it, it just doesn't super matter. On top of having, you know, a casual 6 counterspells. So we are definitely still kind of control deck. Like it's a weird mix between control deck, aggro deck, and like mid-range. But to be fair, like I think it combines all the best from those decks, and it definitely feels way more powerful than you see it here. I was looking at this one and thought it's a really good deck. It's a strong one. But after playing it, it was like, wow, that's really good. Like the fact that you can open like aggro with just 2 cards and absolutely win the game by those 2 cards alone is already a huge deal. Alright, so back into the deck. We have Dennick, of course. It's a good value card, so you basically want to get it because you have some creatures. So when Spirited Companion goes to the graveyard, you get the clue from the apparition thing, but it's mostly for the lifelink. So lifelink combined with Wedding Announcement, Adeline that really wants a 2-drop. Like Adeline on empty board is much weaker than Adeline on Dennick board or Spirited Companion board. So this is one of the big reasons. And you can still bump it with Wandering Emperor, or you can untap with Teferi. So basically you are giving vigilance to this, and in some situations, if this is a 3-4 with Wedding Announcement, and you attack, and then you block, it's actually 6 lifelink a turn. That's a big deal, that's a really big deal. Of course we have 4 Bankbusters, that's quite a lot, but to be honest, thanks to them, we never lacked value in this deck, even though, like you can see, we don't really have a Cardo. This is our Cardo, and those 4 cards basically ensure that for the full game you always have cards in the hand. Teferi is like the only Cardo we have, unless you consider Wedding Announcement, but it's not like we want to draw with it. You generally prefer tokens, you want to pressure. Even if you want to win the value game, you need to pressure enough that your opponent starts reacting to it. And that is usually achieved due to the tokens. Alright, going further into the deck, because this is just a starting package. The real big deal is the Ayo the Down Sky. And honestly, in this deck, I think from all the decks that we have tried, this one utilizes the Ayo the most. It's absolute bonkers because like there are multiple reasons why this dragon works in this deck so much better than in the other ones. First, you have very nice Planewalkers, Wandering Emperor and Teferi. They are both fitting exactly the 4 mana cost of value that you can take. And you have 5 of them, so you probably can get 1 of them. Emperor, when you get her back, of course, can activate on the same turn. So after your opponent sweeps, you can make a Samurai, then make another Samurai next turn. And suddenly, after he sweeps for 0 mana investment, you already got the board and a Planewalker. That's a big deal. But on the other side, you can just get Spirited Companions and Dennicks and Bankbusters. It means that you basically get the board, the card advantage, the pressure, even the if you even get 2 Bankbusters. If you play like creatures next turn, they basically get haste, but in reality you probably get like Dennick and Bankbuster, so you have board, you have card advantage, and in 3 turns you have even bigger board. All of them at the basically like death effect after you are getting swept. And the big reason it works so well in this deck also is that the Adeline creates so much pressure that your board is always super wide with this deck, or at least if everything goes as you planned, because of course sometimes it doesn't. But like when you have 5 creatures, they already have to sweep or they lose the game. And Ayo is this another dimension of threat. It's a creature, but it works as a Planewalker basically. After they sweep the board, it makes something remain. And when you know they have to sweep, you just play it into the sweeper and you basically gain a free tempo, and their sweeper is not good anymore. If you combine it also with Planewalker and Wedding Announcements that get triggers, sweepers don't really do anything against you. Sure, he removes those few tokens, but just give 1 more turn and this board state is again like deadly. And sweeper means they kill their own creatures as well, so your board state is just better, always. And this is what really made Ayo so strong in this deck. Basically it combines the pressure that you got from Adeline and the early game into the closer, that even if your opponent sweeps, he's still dead next turn. And that's a big deal. And this is one of the reasons I think this deck performs so well. And if you add Disruption on top of this, and remember about this small interaction, and you will see it in the video, so you know, this is a big difference. If you want, you can sacrifice the Ayo to make this appear. You can activate it during every spell your opponent casts, because even if he can pay 4 mana, you can still target this as a counter. You can still force him to pay, and you get the Ayo trigger, so sometimes it might be beneficial. You might sometimes even make the plays like, if I hit Emperor right now, I will win the game. So you can sometimes just sacrifice AO to get this Emperor. Like, the plays are there, definitely. And if anything tries to exile it, you just sacrifice it in response and you get the full value. And that is usually enough to win the games. With that being said, do subscribe if you like the channel. I think that, yeah, I don't know what I want to say. I wanted to do the marketing thing, but I just have no ideas. So if you like the channel, subscribe. That's appreciated a lot. Alright, so let's go into the games, I think. And enjoy this one. I think that this one will get you out of Platinum in no time, from my experience at least, so have fun. Alright, we are going first. This is probably a very, very strong opening, so let's start. And I'm learning to always start with an island, because it suggests mono blue. And mono blue plays very, very differently than the other decks, so, you know, especially if you are on the draw and your opponent has a 2-drop, it probably won't super make him make a different play, but it's still probably worth doing. Yeah, I think it's still worth it. So if he wants to get free value from the token, it means that we get the lifelink, we get double creature, he still needs to use Voltage Surge, sacrifice it and cut his turn nearly in half. Or he can just get another Harvester and trade them for free. That's also an option. Well, so it really feels like a farewell plan right now. How do we play this one out? We definitely keep attacking. Like, our attacker is much better than theirs. I'm not sure if I will Eiganjo this. I'm kinda lost about this play, not gonna lie. But honestly, I prefer this way, I think. Because he cannot raise us, so he deals 1 damage, we deal 2 damage basically. And that's really good. And this means that the board state favors us. This means that Syncopate is premium right now, because our opponent needs to use one of those cards to affect the board state, so it's different than right now. Because right now he's losing in it. And that's a high pressure. And this high pressure might force him to play into counterspells. Nice. Not sure what about the rest of the game, to be honest. I'm super proud with this play. That was amazing, and I have zero idea what to do. By the way, he just used Harvester to trade with this, even though he decided to not trade with this, like literally a moment ago. So you can see that things didn't go as well as he wanted. Let's cast this. Voltage Surge, right? It might be just the blood token. I honestly think Otawara is worth playing. It hurts a little bit, but with Bankbuster you generally need as much mana as you can. That's fine. Like, he basically traded 2 for 1 for Dennick, and that's fine. This is a bit more problematic. Alright. I'm not sure if we play stuff. I think we play stuff. Oh well, that's a big difference. That's a big difference. That gives us quite a lot of control. He should expect a counterspell, because we played those premium cards basically. Do we want to farewell in a moment? Yeah? I don't mind this. Like, it seems weird, but we are actually not minding this at all. Let's draw cards. Let's get some more stuff. Wedding announcement. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. So I think the plan is to bait him into making as much stuff as possible. And then when we make the stuff, ooh, he just improved his hand. So when he makes all the stuff, he only has 3 cards. Suddenly we get rid of everything, and we still have another farewell to make sure that his follow-up is also not threatening. And I think that would be enough. Oh yes, play into it. That's so good. I think we just baited him into losing the game. You'll have to see it. Oh man. If we do the Bankbuster thing, we can still fare well, but we exile our own pilot, and I don't think that's good enough. So definitely creatures. Artifacts? Man, pretty tempting, not gonna lie, but with second farewell I think we can work around it. So enchantments. Oh, it's so tempting. It's so tempting. I want to exile it. Oh, I shouldn't. Oh, I hate those three. Not sure if he realized that we didn't choose the artifacts. So, what is the idea? Idea is that the worst he can do is follow up with 2 cards. So, worst case we can just farewell, and if not, we can start fighting for the board. With AO Wedding Announcement make disappear, our place will be better, I think. He is oh, that's a strong card he discarded, that's interesting. Alright. So he absolutely goes for the huge smorg damage. I wonder if it's good. I wonder if it's good. When we cast this, we have only what? 2 mana left. And I think that's fine. Like, AO is a lot of pressure. Even if he can kill it, it means that we get stuff and we probably can block even better, so... Like, he can deal a little bit more damage, but not all the way up to 12. I mean, like, so we counter it, right? Of course we cannot counter it, but we can counter it. Because this means that we exile this one. I should crew the Bankbuster probably. I'm a bit silly. Look at the top. So we sacrifice in response. This fizzles, and it's basically countered because we want the effect from the death trigger, which this would prevent because it's an exile effect, right? Alright, and this is what we wanted, basically. Emperor is pretty good. Dennick is actually even better, you know? My big mistake is that I did not go for the Bankbuster crewing, and that's really big mistake on my part. Like, I should respond and first tap it, activate this. He didn't attack, but it was still an absolute mistake, and this could be game losing if, you know, things went wrong. I don't want to attack him yet. All we need is, like, he needs to kill us, like, he's losing so hard in value battle. All we need to care is about not dying. And suddenly he couldn't attack with 1 attacker and no Bankbusters. Now he needs to attack through Dennick, token, this and this. And that's why make disappear. There's a cool counters. Oh, I'm not even sorry. Like, if you play Invoke Despair, like, you... no mercy. Alright, we are going first. We have Dog and Wedding Announcement. Like, what can be better in your life than having a cute dog, wedding announcement, and then the Emperor, I guess. I didn't, I guess, expect story to go so much over the top so quickly. Alright, so we are getting a little bit flooded. That's something we need to consider. We have enough blue for now. Oh, that's really good. That's really good. It means that our opponent has basically no pressure. And our pressure will be legendary. Get this 1 damage from the dog. You need to be careful though. I don't want to go into value game, honestly. He might mid-hook this board. Actually, I would probably mid-hook it if I was in his place. And he's just going for the absolute maximum value. Let's go for the wastes. And that's what you do. You do not attack with both of them, because we don't really want to go for the value. We want to create as much pressure as we can. And I think this will be the Emperor turn. I'm not planning it ahead because I'm lazy. It's evening. I just want to chill out. So I will just look at my opponent's cards and see what's up. So this is at best Inferno Grasp. Cool. I think he has Midhook Massacre, and I think that he will cast it next turn.
Finally, I'm home.
I don't think there exists card that removes the Emperor. Alright, so what do? We play A, alright? It gets Infernal Grasp. Oh, that's a bit unfortunate. Let's make one more Samurai. I think this pressure is good enough.
May your blades.
And now we start plussing. Oh yes, such a bad play. Literally zero reasons to do it, unless he thinks we have a counterspell, then we would waste a counterspell to protect it. It's honestly a really bad play, and we will absolutely capitalize on it. And that's what you get. Alright, so Midhook will be for 3. It cannot kill Aya. I think the pressure is enough. And yeah, we will attack with everything. I don't want to miss 2 damage, and card is still okay, like, you know, it's fine. It's fine. So our dog cannot be even cut down. Sure, do we want to get rid of Aya? No, we want to make sure that our opponent has to deal with Aya. Maybe Spirited Companion. Okay, so for the future, if you play this deck, I guess in such situation it is better to put the counter here. They don't have bounce spells, and you can sacrifice dog to invoke the spell and actually get a little bit more value. That's really like niche situation, but it seems to be the case this game. Alright. So what do we do? Do we play Teferi and just keep getting stuff? I like getting stuff. Getting stuff has like very good future. Make this appear, yes! Oh, we just won the game. Cool, I like winning games as well. So our opponent might go for the Bankbuster, but we kill him with Aya, so he needs to do stuff, and we will counter the stuff, so goodbye. Oh, that's so cute. It doesn't make a difference. Like, I guess... No, we just tap it. Nope. We do it simply because he needs 2 blockers to survive or he dies. Yeah, good game. That was pretty elegant from our opponent. Definitely interesting game, but we absolutely overpowered this guy. Alright, so we are going first. With some dogs, some Bankbusters, definitely a value-packed start. We need to, like, I want to know what I'm against, because that's a huge deal. This is cheaper. This is also a card draw, but you pay less and you have more presence. So it's actually better than the Bankbuster right now. And it also provides some kind of creature. And as you can see, having a creature makes a big difference. This might be the Voltage Surge on the companion. Man, the dog with haste. Can you believe, like, we are a control deck, but thanks to having this 1-3 drop, we basically play like a mono white aggro right now. They need to kill it or they die, and even if they kill it, they're still super behind. Yeah, like, man, it's just such a powerful card. It's funny because I've been playing so much with mono white aggro. I remember how Adeline always dominates the game, and you have basically the full effect just by playing few copies. Alright, our opponent goes first, but we have Dennick into Adeline into Wedding Announcement. Let's play the Attacker's Waste. Alright, so we are against some kind of Esper. Some kind of Esper. We are definitely getting a lot of lands here. And I shouldn't play the Attacker Waste. It should be plains in retrospect. So yeah, my bad. It probably should have been the island. Just to pretend mono blue. Like, you want to pretend mono blue. That's such a strong deck that it will work how your opponent plays, basically. Alright. And for now we need to start ramping the pressure. And I think Adeline is a really good one. Because we will attack already. So we get the haste effect. And when he kills Adeline somehow, we have another one. So we actually want to play something that he needs to kill. And he will get a card, which is not great. But we have so many creatures that Kaito will probably die. What more, when we attack with anything, we get additional tokens, so even if he doesn't block with the ninja, even 2 tokens are enough, and we can basically focus all the big damage into his face. Right? Yeah, that's a king. He's so sad, because he knows how this game ends. Alright, cool. And that was exactly the idea. So right now we can kill Kaito and make another Adeline to continue the pressure. And our opponent is basically nearly at the grave step. And he cannot get any value from Kaito, which is amazing. Yeah, exactly. That's a good game, my friend. I would prefer him to leave though, because it's not as good game. I think he just wants to show that he's so behind that he generally is out of the game, which is true, but still, we don't have too much value after this, I guess. Wedding announcement will be super slow, like at this point 1-1 doesn't matter, and before it flips, like game will probably be over. Ayo, the Downsky, is actually a good supplement to the board. Like Adeline is so huge in this deck because like she alone does enough pressure to force a sweeper. So it's your 3-drop that has to be stopped, and sweeper needs to be played. If your opponent doesn't play a sweeper, he basically dies. As you can see, like he's already at 15, and it will be much worse. And I mean much worse. It sucks that we get flooded a little bit. He cannot kill Adeline. Wedding announcement creates token at end step, so we don't miss damage here. Yeah, he can block for 3 turns Adeline, so probably that's what he needs to do. I don't think Ninja was justified. Losing your own board is never a great idea. However, now it's Aeon, and I think it's... well, he was tapped out, wasn't he? Okay, so I sacked and I missed 1 damage. No, it was... she was blocked. It's fine, I calculated it. I exactly knew it would go like this. So drawing cards at 5 mana means that he cannot sweep anymore, it means he dies, and he needs a moment to reflect on this fact. So let's give him, you know, a moment to think about mortality. Cast a random creature that won't change anything. I guess he can have 1 more turn. With lifelink, like he blocks Adeline. Well, if we keep getting flooded, who knows, maybe. He still cannot kill anything, basically. And when he sweeps AO, we get some good cards from our deck, so I'm not very hopeful, but you know, if it's a mid hook, this seems like a bit of a mid hook. We will draw cards. And you know what? That's actually not the worst, because our hand is very monothematic, as you can see. Like, I think we are drawing lands since like 4 turns. Yeah, we actually had only cards that has value from the start. So mid-hook is pretty good, but we should really get something at the end step. And of course, no, counters are not great. It's probably Emperor. Oh wow. Well, we actually missed on the Emperor, even though we are like 1/4 deep of the deck. So I guess it has to be Wedding Announcement. Oh, you know what? Actually, this is better. We also keep the card draw, and we have this Wedding Announcement, so I don't think we need more. Oh, this would be better before. Farewell. Farewell, definitely a card that matters. So I think this is the way. No, that's cool. We can have both of them. I'm not sure how do you feel as Dennick when you see your spirit next to you, and like, I would consider that probably bad things will happen at some point. As oh man, that was definitely not as fun as it makes me fun. Oh, I don't know, it just hit the spot. I know, it wasn't a hilarious joke. So, he draws card, that's really good for us. It means that our Make Disappear has much better chance to hit right now. He only has 6 mana. So, unless he plays a 2-drop, we can counter it if we really want. And with so much mana, like, you know what, with this deck you can actually utilize a lot of mana, I can see. Like, We are getting flooded, but next time we actually can use basically all of it, and if we get a clue or something, we are probably still short mana, which is pretty amazing. I wonder if he thinks what he needs to play, or whether we can counter it. Huh. I think I will counter it. It has to be one or more creature cards put into graveyard. Okay, I will put this one into graveyard then. So, now we can counter. It's not the prime target, like it's not the best target for the counter spell, but I think that the life gain can hold him in the game much longer than we want to. And you know, the clue is still a thing. Yeah, I think this was the actual play he wanted to do. I think he made Teferi for a bait. But with Farewell, I'm still okay with this. I actually really don't mind sacrificing creatures. Alright, we have few scenarios how we can play it out. So our wedding announcement activates next turn and our creatures start to be bigger. So maybe we have some time. Let's draw first. Like, we have options in this game, definitely. And our opponent is at 2 cards. Oh, so... You know how we could play this one out? He has a lot of Planewalkers, but we could just play Bankbusters, draw all the cards before he absolutely smokes us in the board, then cast Farewell, and we are left with 8 cards and he's at nothing. That is one line to win this game. Other one would be to keep attacking him for 3. Well, I guess it's 3 turn lethal, but I cannot imagine this kind of deck doesn't hit anything. Yeah, I think this is the way. And Dennick, if we attack, trades for 2/2. If we block, it trades for infinite 2/2s. So one of those options seems a bit better. That was... oh, okay, that was Crowing Trigger. I wonder if he has Farewell. Does this look like a deck with Farewell? No, he has Graveyard. He could play Farewell, but I think he doesn't. I hope he doesn't. I will make a bit all-in play. Like, this is a bit all-in-ish. Much safer would be to cast one of the Bankbusters, because if he Farewells, we basically get 1 card out of 6 possible. So that's a huge value sink. But he also needs to sweep his own stuff, so, you know. And generally you don't play Farewell if you are playing like Phyrexian Missionary, I think. Not sure about the current meta in this regard, but I think that's how it works. Alright, interesting. So far that's really bad attack. Only reason to do it would be to draw a card. Because it trades perfectly into Dennick. Honestly, even this one is pretty bad. But this one at least I can understand. So he would trade with Dennick. But you know what? I don't mind it. This might be some kind of removal, Eiganjo, things like this, but with Farewell we are absolutely okay with this. As long as he uses card to affect the board state, we are winning, because board state does not matter. Yep, that's Eiganjo, and that's absolutely fine. Calculated. So he's fighting for the board, but he doesn't know the board does not matter, and board is basically right now absolutely worthless. And when he realizes it, it will be too late. Haha, that's the sneaky play. Okay, and tokens are even better. You get draw with Bankbuster, because I'm not sure what. As you can see, when you have situation when your opponent gets everything he wanted and then he scoops, you know the plan that he went for was bad. And in this situation, there's educational channel. You draw with this one, because if you have 6 mana, this way you can draw 3 cards. If you get to burn this one, you can only draw 2 cards, even if you want to draw 3. Alright, we are going second and we are against high platinum, so we definitely need to put out our best show. And it seems to be some kind of aggro deck. I guess there's no real harm to playing basic lands and playing this on third, and it generally can mess your opponent how to play a little bit. Maybe the island was better. Yeah, I think it was. However, we got a little bit lucky. Of course, you do not play the Bankbuster here because you absolutely die and you won't draw cards anyway, so don't even try. You don't want to. Yep. Probably good choice. This means that he doesn't have 1 or 2 drops, because that's a really good scaling card. And if he... Oh wow, I nearly did it. I don't love this, just for the record. I don't love it at all. There's an argument to just hold the mana, and it could be better. And we just won because our deck is so great. And I have no idea what was it. I guess he got mana screwed, so his whole gameplay was hanging on this Shivan Devastator, and we just countered it. This one counter won the game, I guess. Oh man, that's definitely one of the hardest hands we had so far. I don't think we can take it. This one is way better, actually. Yeah, with Spirited Companions we can work our way into, you know, not having a crappy hand, basically. Man, the previous one was so bad. It would be good on the play, but on the draw it's absolute disaster. And man, I like the dog so much lately. The biggest power of the dog is that it's scrappy creature, so nobody will care about it, so it always goes through. Nobody will counter it, nobody will burn, you know, anything. You just build your board for free. Oh, such a great sneak card. Haha, 19. No, not Adeline. It's such a hard counter spell. We need to sneak as much as we can, so it makes it awkward for him. And we also, thanks to the dogs, we create the board while still stabilizing the situation a little bit at least. Of course, this, as always, is absolute garbage of a matchup. Like with every deck, basically. This is a negate or make disappear. And I think we need to go with the assumption or hope that it is a negate. If that's a make disappear, I don't think we can win this game. But Jin is something you expect to die. So usually a lot of players, including me actually, will play Jin with negate because the worst can happen is non-creature. But yeah, if they have 5 cards, you basically don't have good way to do it. Consider. So now he will start pumping. I guess we have still AO. So there's a small chance. And with Teferi we can tap his blockers when he doesn't expect it. Man, this deck is like, I'm reviewing so many different decks. And with every deck I'm basically saying this is a bad matchup. Like I don't know what Mono Blue has as a weak matchup. Like I know aggro decks, but you know, still lame. Alright, so how do we play this one out? With Dennick. With Dennick it might be too slow. First, we attack. You need to actually think about your steps very well with this kind of deck and matchup, because it all depends how you play. Alright. You first cast the scary thing, because you have open mana, and also they don't know what follows, so there's higher chance that it goes through. So even if we missed some damage, theoretically, we didn't really miss damage. This might get countered and it's fine. And I think if we reversed, there is a high chance the Bankbuster would be countered. Oh, that's really bad for us. That's really bad. Fading hopes are a thing. Hi. Who could predict it? No chance. Alright, so we are getting into worse and worse spot, as is norm against this deck. We are at 14 already. Oh my god. Okay, that's a big difference, because they can kill us very quickly right now. That's a dragon. If he counters it, we lose the game and we leave. If he fading hopes it, we probably leave. That was great MTG experience. So when you complain about mono black everywhere, think about mono blue everywhere.